If there is one primary method for us drivers in rideshare, whether driving for Uber or Lyft, to avoid being exploited, to often avoid being underpaid, it is indeed the avoidance of third-party booked trips. What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride-sharing video. Third-party trips. We're talking about trips that were not booked by the passenger or even a family member, but rather by another entity, oftentimes a corporation, a hospital, some sort of goodwill business booked for passengers. Now, I am strongly against this, and I would hope that many of you drivers out there realize that there are some downfalls, some pitfalls for doing third-party trips. Obvious issue is going to be no tipping. You're not going to get any kind of a tip from a third-party book trip. And the sole reason I'm bringing this to you on this Memorial Day weekend, this comes from an article titled CDOT offers Uber ride credits for Memorial Day weekend to curb impaired drivers. Now, make no mistake about it, they're talking about the California Department of Transportation is offering $10 credits, free Uber rides to keep drunk-ass patrons off the road. So if a drunk takes a ride to avoid getting a DUI, then you know where that drunk is going to end up, in your damn car. Now, I understand a lot of us folks favor the after club crowd. A lot of money to be made when clubs close at 2 a.m. So there's a lot of drivers that like being out in the middle of the morning. Nevertheless, this is solely putting inebriated passengers in your vehicle. So for the most part, all of their passengers are folks who have been drinking. That's what you're going to be getting with this. And this is being done not just in California. I believe the article alludes to the fact that they're doing it in probably about a half a dozen states. Now, I don't see a total reason to avoid it. I mean, if you want to do trips and you don't give a damn about not being tipped, then okay, fair enough. You're out there at 2 in the morning, trip comes in, you don't give a damn if you're tipped or not, then maybe this is your forte. But I'm talking about in terms of striking a blow to the man, pushing back. This is a case of that, whereas these companies probably paired with Uber, potentially Lyft, to give rides to possibly inebriated patrons. And if you didn't take that ride, it could make Uber, the corporation, or Lyft, the corporation, look bad to, say, the California Department of Transportation or some of these other entities that are booking these rides. So for you folks who often like to strike, this is a time when you probably should not participate. After all, you're not getting shit out of it, but a drunk passenger that's paying the same damn fare as everybody else, with the added guarantee that you're almost certain not to be tipped. Anybody getting in your car to take a trip that was booked by somebody else is not going to give you a damn tip. I don't care who booked the trip, whether it's a hospital, in this case, the California Department of Transportation, even if it's a police department or a women's shelter or something like that, helping out a passenger that needs to get from point A to point B. The chances of you getting a tip are all but zero. Now, I understand, I did videos before on the fact that some drivers actually like to think or feel like they are helping people in need. If that, once again, is your method of operation, then fine, take the damn trips. I get it. But there are some of us who do not do this as a charity business, who do not see this as a way to help others. We're doing it for a side hustle. The very nature of what they refer to the business as. We're in it for cash. We're in it to earn an income, not to help those in need. So if you're one of those folks, if you fall in the category of, I work for cash, I'm working to feed my family and pay my bills, not to provide goodwill to my fellow brothers and sisters, then yeah, this might be a moment to sit it out and let the companies like Uber and Lyft deal with the shortage of drivers. Yours truly, I avoid third-party trips at all costs. Like I stated before, we don't make a lot on base fares to begin with. So the only time I'm really driving is when they're giving earnings guarantees, streak bonuses, or surge pricing in the beginning. And you're not going to get that when they're talking about handing drivers or handing passengers $10 coupons and shit like that for free rides. Now you're talking about base fare type of shit. I don't want to get involved in that. I just personally do not. Maybe it looks bad to some of you other do-good drivers, fair enough, but I don't personally like to get involved in something where I'm not going to get tipped. And in this case, because it's being done to stifle the amount of drunk drivers on the road. In fact, they're referring to Memorial Day, I suppose, between, 3 months from Memorial Day. What is that? The summer, from Memorial Day to Labor Day. The law enforcement community refers to that as the 100 deadliest days of summer. In other words, people getting drunk, getting wasted, getting on the road, and getting involved in a lot of accidents. You as a rideshare driver, moving these inebriated passengers from point A to point B, at the end of the day, you could save some lives. You're helping folks that are drunk not take their own vehicle. Because if they cannot get an Uber or a Lyft, that might increase the chances of them actually sticking the key in the ignition and trying to drive themselves home and causing some mayhem. I'm not a fan of, anybody losing their lives or getting hurt. But at the same time, I do realize there is some capital in that. Whereas if a bunch of drunk passengers cannot get a ride home and they ultimately decide to drive their own cars because they couldn't get an Uber and they hurt somebody, maybe it'll make the news as to why there were no Ubers available. It's because they don't pay us shit. So, it's a pro and con to it, but I do avoid third-party trips at all costs. Let me know in the comments, what the hell do you guys think about this? Do you favor this program? It is meant to take drunks off the street by using you. And once again, it is by using you in your vehicle. Now, keep in mind, in addition to not being tipped by any of these people, just statistically speaking, the chances of having one of these folks throw up in your damn car is higher because everybody that's getting in a vehicle through this program are choosing your vehicle to reduce the likelihood of driving home drunk and getting involved in a DUI type situation. So you are certainly going to increase the likelihood of these folks puking in your vehicle. And last but not least, if for any of you who may have taken third-party trips like this for passengers like this, what is the likelihood if one of these folks do puke in your vehicle? How easy is it to get Uber or Lyft to credit you with the finances you need to get your car detailed and clean that shit up? And we have to take in consideration something that is an obvious issue. Even if Uber or Lyft pays to have your car detailed, you are still out of the game until that gets done. So you're losing money no matter how you look at it. If Uber gives you $200 or whatever the hell they give you to get your car detailed, you're still done driving for the night because obviously nobody's going to get in your car when it smells like somebody died in the damn thing. And then also the next morning, because at 2 a.m. there's no detail places open, so your car is going to sit outside in front of your house or apartment with puke in it, marinating. So when you get in that vehicle the next day to drive that shit to get detailed, assuming a detailing shop is open on a Sunday, you may have to wait till Monday depending on where the hell you're located. And you have to take a trip from wherever your car was parked to the detailing location with the remnants and smell of leftover vomiting your shit. That's what comes from this program. That is what can come from this program. Folks in the comments section, I would like to hear from you. I've never had a passenger fully vomit in my vehicle, threaten to kick the ass of a passenger that was beginning to vomit. I don't know if I scared him or not, but the guy gave me $100 on the spot because I told him if you vomit in my Cadillac, it's over with. $100, I shut the hell up, got him to his destination. But I want to find out from you folks, if somebody has ever puked in your vehicle, how easy, or shit, in some cases, how difficult was it to get the ride-sharing companies to credit you something to get your vehicle clean? I don't want a damn thing to do with this California Department of Transportation shit. I don't want nothing to do with it, but you let me know in the comments. It's your boy, Tim. subscribe to the damn channel. By the way, click the like button, helps out the algorithms. I'll see you in the next video.
For the